Okay, so in quite a surprising heel turn, Hunter Biden now says, I'll show up for the closed door deposition or whatever. However, House Republicans, specifically James Comer and Jim Jordan, say, yeah, that's nice, but we're still going ahead with contempt charges. Flying in the face. That's just funny. I mean, he deserves it. After the stunt he pulled showing up in the oversight committee room while they were holding a resolution to hold him in contempt of Congress, yeah, dude, you're gonna show up like that and then just get up and walk out and leave? Yeah, I would probably hold him in contempt of Congress as well. I'm sorry. You don't come up there and basically spit in their face like that. I mean, what in the hell is going on with that? So Rand Paul comes out with a video, and everybody's thinking he's going to endorse Trump, or he's going to endorse DeSantis or Ramaswamy or somebody. But no, he's like, no, I'm not decided on who I'm going to back yet. But he did say, I can tell you who I'm not backing. He actually made a website, Never Nikki, I think is the name of it. NeverNikki.com or NeverNikkiHaley.com. Check it out. I totally agree. You know, Nikki Haley is a Democrat, essentially. As a matter of fact, she's probably an enemy to the Democrats as well because she identifies as a Republican. She just wants endless wars. She is a stooge for the military-industrial complex. I mean, there is proof of this. Her stance on the Ukraine war, wanting to put boots on the ground from U.S. military, that's insane. Wanting everybody that's on social media to have an ID, to have a government ID. That's insane as well. People love their anonymity online. And hey, I'm right there with you. She is just a puppet of the state. Vivek Ramaswamy said it the best. We've got all kind of troubles for Trump. He's ordered to pay some journalists from the New York Times, I think 3 of them, like $400,000 or something like that. Gun legislation in Oregon, they're coming after ammunition now. They're wanting to put a use tax on it of 11% of sale price. That would be on top of state sales tax and other municipal sales taxes that they might have on that, raising the price significantly of ammunition to try to curb gun violence. These people, you can't say they don't understand that, taking guns away and taking ammunition away isn't going to help the problem. Criminals don't care about laws. This tax would harm criminals as well if they buy ammunition, but it's not going to help. I mean, anybody can logically work through that and see that that's not going to help anything whatsoever. The House strikes down Biden's subsidy. He's wanting to subsidize charging stations. Yeah, the House struck that down with the quickness, I might add. And Johnson is in some hot water for that new spending package, that atrocious spending package, $1.66 trillion spending. I say spending package, it's the appropriations package. That is about $100 billion. Too much. It's just insane what some of these people... I thought Johnson was going to be one of the good guys. He's holding fast on Ukraine, which is what we're going to get to here in a second, but I kind of can't believe Johnson isn't using his spine to stand up to the White House and to the Senate and put his foot down. It's just... It's disappointing, I should say. But what's up, everybody? How the hell's your day going? I hope y'all are having a pretty good day. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news and keep you up to date on what the government is doing. So if you want to stay informed and you want to stay on top of stuff like that, smash that subscribe button for me. Turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified every time I pop out a video. And if you could, kindly smash that like button for me, especially if you love the Second Amendment. If you are down for the Second Amendment, smash that like button if you don't mind. But enough of my rambling. Let's go ahead and get into some news. Check this out, folks. Democrats reject Johnson's border demands as part of a Ukraine aid package, right? So, I've talked about this a lot. I don't understand why the Republicans are so animated behind a new border package. Every single law that we have to control that border, to shut it down, is on the books. It's Biden's policies that are allowing millions of migrants to come across that border illegally. That's the problem. It's Biden. It's not any laws or any border package or anything like that. It's Biden's policies. They actually fly in the face of United States federal law. He just allows these people to come in and just come into the country. Not only that, but he's flying migrants to all over the damn place with no IDs. They're getting on these planes. They don't have IDs, obviously, because they're not United States citizens. They don't have visas, obviously, because they're illegal migrants. They're not supposed to be here. It's just sending a terrible message out there. But let's get into this right quick, y'all. House Democrats wasted no time this week rejecting Speaker Mike Johnson's demands for strict new border security measures in return for Ukraine aid, posing the latest obstacle in Congress's efforts to move another round of military assistance for the embattled U.S. ally. I would have to disagree with that statement. Ukraine is not a U.S. ally. We have no defense treaties with Ukraine. We have no treaties whatsoever with Ukraine. They're wanting to be a part of NATO, but that is a red line for Russia, which, why poke a bear with a stick? I mean, if you're a much bigger bear, whatever, but why get into an unnecessary fight when you don't need to? Johnson said Wednesday House Republicans would oppose any new aid for Kyiv unless it was accompanied by major provisions for the GOP's previously passed border bill, including the reinstallation of the Remain in Mexico policy begun under former President Trump and hundreds of miles of new wall construction on the U.S.-Mexico border. That border fight is coming, and we're going to die on that hill, he told conservative radio pundit Hugh Hewitt. The remarks sparked an immediate backlash from House Democrats who are supportive of new border security funding. Bullshit, but not the tough immigration restrictions favored by Republicans. No, we want illegal migration restrictions. That's what the problem is. It's not migration restrictions. You know, as far as Republicans, conservatives, I should say, people in this country, we don't mind migrants. We love migrants. Everybody loves migrants. You want to come to this country? Come through a port of entry. Do whatever the hell you got to do. Get your visa. Take your test. Become a citizen. We should do more of that. However, we don't want these people just coming across the border illegally and going God knows where, because some of those people, a lot of those people, work for the cartels. They have to go through cartels to get to this country. Every single person that comes across that southern border has to go through cartel-controlled regions in Mexico. That means that they are working for the cartel, essentially, because they have to pay the cartel to get through to the U.S.-Mexico border. Right? They're funding the cartels. And then a lot of them are forced to do work, to smuggle drugs, to smuggle kids, to smuggle people into this country. There is a insane fentanyl crisis going on right now. And this policy of just letting these illegal migrants come across the border unchecked is ruining lives in this country, and it needs to stop. They're vowing to sink any Ukraine aid package that includes those provisions if Johnson brings it to the floor, a notable threat since Democrat votes would be needed to move the bill. That would be ridiculous. Unfortunately, it would be to the detriment of Ukraine if they did that, Rep. Mark Pocan said. The border wall in particular has been a topic of fierce debate between the parties in recent years, and Johnson's proposals was quickly panned by Democrats who warned that they'll never back a Ukraine package that included anything close to the 900 miles of new construction featured in the Republicans' border bill. That's a non-starter for me, and I think for most of us, Rep. Juan Vargas said. Yeah, you want to know something? If you want to fund Ukraine so bad, you want to protect Ukraine's borders and not ours? Who gives a damn? I don't care. You're not going to get your Ukraine money. I don't think it's realistic, echoed Rep. Benny Thompson, the senior Democrat on the Homeland Security Committee. Rep. Paul Grijalva went a step further, accusing Republicans of offering pseudo-solutions to a highly complex problems for the sole purpose of stirring up nativist voters. Notice what he said right there, stirring up nativist voters. Wonder what that means exactly. Do you mean citizens of this country? What exactly does he mean by that? Nativist voters. Curious. That wall has always been about political symbolism for Republicans, and it continues to be that, Grijalva said. The fact that it has failed, the fact that it costs money, wastes money, seems to be irrelevant. No, I'm sorry, it hasn't failed. If you had a complete wall, that would stop a lot of those illegals from coming across. Why can they not see that? It's very simple. Square peg goes in square hole. Cylinder peg goes in round hole. That's how simple that is, but they can't seem to understand that. You put up a wall, people cannot get past it. And guess what, guy? That wall was already paid for. I'm just saying. I think it's the same rhetoric from the last 10 years. The dispute over the appropriate response to the southern border crisis and Johnson's demands, more specifically, have created just the latest hurdle in the months-long effort to get more military aid to Ukraine, which is reeling after almost 2 years under invasion by Russian forces and warning that supplies are dwindling. Like I said, we are not here to fund another country's war. That is not our place. You want some assistance? Sure. But we are footing the vast majority of the bill for that. And I don't want to. I am a U.S. taxpayer. And I'm sorry. I don't mind sending some bullets, sending some artillery rounds, maybe even a few tanks. But the $113 billion that we've already sent, plus the $61 billion that they're wanting to send, is far too much. We have far too many problems at home to worry about the borders of some foreign country that most people couldn't point out on a globe. I'm sorry, just because Russia invaded, why is it our place to prop that up? Why do these people not care about what's going on in Guyana with Venezuela? Why do these people not care about the invasions that take place all the time in Africa? Because it's not Ukraine. I can almost guarantee you that if you spell out for people exactly what Ukraine is and how corrupt they are, and how much money we've sent over there, and how much money that we've sent that we've lost track of. We have no idea what they've done with it. I bet you would change a lot of people's minds who are just, willy-nilly, that don't really pay attention to stuff like that. I bet you they wouldn't be so eager to send another $60 billion. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited Capitol Hill in December to warn leaders in both parties of the perils facing his country and the urgency underlying the additional aid. But the Senate negotiators scrambling to piece together a Ukraine border security package have been unable to reach an agreement. And even if they do, it will face a much tougher road in the House. That's right, where a large and growing number of Republicans have grown wary of the long-running conflict and are vowing to oppose any new U.S. aid for Kyiv. The issue is posing an enormous headache for Johnson, who supports another round of Ukraine funding, and not even his demand for tough new border restrictions seem to be changing the dynamic. No more funding for Ukraine, and that's where I am completely different right now than the Speaker and others in my conference, Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene said Thursday. If he wants to give $60 billion in a deal with Democrats trading America's border security, then he's going to find himself in deep trouble, not only with me, but with other conservatives in our conference and conservatives across America. Yeah, people like me. I've already lost faith in Mike Johnson. He doesn't want to take this step. I promise you that. Under former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, House GOP leaders staged a test vote on Ukrainian funding last September, and a majority of Republicans had opposed it. A significant development, given that GOP leaders typically adhere by the Hastert rule, avoiding any legislation that lacks the support of most of their conference. The issue was among the reasons cited by Rep. Matt Gaetz when he launched the successful efforts to oust McCarthy, and Johnson is now facing the same pressure from conservatives fighting to slash federal spending in the name of deficit reduction. I don't even want to fund my government if the administration won't secure the border, let alone fund Ukraine's government in exchange for defending America, Rep. Warren Davidson said Thursday in an interview with CNN. Given the conservative unrest, some Democrats are speculating that Johnson is seeking to scuttle the new Ukraine funding by linking it to immigration provisions he knows Democrats will reject. That's right. I think that's what he's doing as well. That strategy would not only allow the Speaker to avoid a ferocious internal fight, but also provide the political advantage of blaming the impasse on Democrats. The Republicans are throwing the Ukrainians to the dogs, Vargas said. It's sad. I think it's a horrible situation, but that's what I think they're doing. Really? Like I said, it's not our job to fund somebody else's war. That's what we're doing. We're providing, like I said, the vast majority of funding for this war. Ukraine doesn't have money. They're running out of people. There have been well over 500,000 casualties in this war. 2 years. 500,000 casualties. That is a lot of people, and is way more people than what is necessary. There should be 0 casualties because Russia should have never invaded Ukraine. However, when they came to peace talks, Vladimir Putin was at those peace talks. Guess who screwed those up? That's right. The Biden administration came in and scuttled all that. Just said screw it. So now they're in dire situation, and they expect me and you, the United States taxpayer, to pay for it. Well, I'm sorry. If you can't negotiate peace, I don't want to give you $60 billion more to give to some corrupt government. I'm sorry. We have enough corruption at home with Biden starting another war in the Red Sea now. That's right. Biden administration, without congressional approval, decided to just on its own start attacking the Houthi rebels just outright. They're not defending themselves. They're proactively attacking the Houthi rebels with airstrikes. Yeah, that's unconstitutional, and Biden is facing a lot of backlash from Democrats. Yeah, from his own party. That was another story that I was thinking about covering, but you know, the mainstream's covering that one pretty heavily, so I try to stay away from what the mainstream covers, but sometimes I can't, you know, but that's all I got for this one. But let me know what you guys think about all this what do you think Johnson is really thinking here? Is he really thinking, to scuttle the Ukraine funding by tying it to some provisions for the border security that he knows Democrats, it's a non-starter for Democrats? Or do you think he really wants those border provisions and is willing to give $61 billion to Ukraine to stop the insane invasion that we have on our southern border? The way I'm thinking right now, I can't tell what the hell Johnson is thinking because, like I said, he's disappointed the hell out of me. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And that's all I got for this one, folks. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to be positive. Peace.